So the last song I heard last night before I went to sleep was Grace by Rachel Platten. The first song I heard this morning after waking up was Grace by Rachel Platten. That has really hit me, and I've been thinking about it all day. I've been pondering it, and I felt inspired to randomly choose a prayer out of a book that somebody gave me. I'll go into that in a minute. What I want to say is I've been struggling. I have a few good days, and then I get a whole stream of not so good days. Um, Life is a struggle, and I'm tired of it being a fight, and I know it doesn't have to be. I know I'm going through some major transformation. I know so many things, but I'm really tired. I'm having a hard time hanging on to the faith and the hope and the courage and all the good things. I'm struggling. And so I'm being very vulnerable, and I'm inviting you to come along this journey with me. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I feel very inspired to do this. And so I'm inviting you to join me. Basically, I have a very good friend who gave me this book about a year ago. And I call it my grace book, but it's by Caroline Myss, and it's called Intimate Conversations with the Divine, Prayer, Guidance, and Grace. And in it, she has written 100 of her own personal prayers. And on page 1, this is what she has to say about it. I really like what it says. Partway down the page, my intention is to inspire you to engage in a prayer practice of your own. Contemporary prayer is a dialogue with the divine and is the conduit for grace to enter your life and our world. Each of these prayers illustrates a different type of grace that feeds the human soul. As such, I have included words of guidance as well as a petition for grace with each prayer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to randomly let the book fall open, see where it lands, and read that prayer, the guidance, and the grace that goes with it, and see if it applies to anything I'm going through right now. So, all right. Okay. I landed on 83, Through Divine Eyes. So I'm going to read, and we'll see where I go. The prayer. Lord, I've made a decision, one that comes from contemplating my endless pursuit to be doing something, anything. Doing nothing has always represented uselessness to me, like sleeping in too late. I have recently begun to examine my inability to pause. I have wondered if my refusal to ease up is because I fear being of no use. It's hitting home. What is the scale upon which we measure our value anyway? After long, long days of reflection on this matter, I've made the decision that I will not betray the gift that is my life by thinking I am of no use, no matter what circumstances I find myself in as the years of my life go by. I may not always embrace the responsibility for finding ways to be of use or the circumstances in which I find myself. It is up to me to participate with a full heart and a willing spirit. On those days when my spirit is not so willing and my heart is not so filled with kindness, I ask that you shine your light upon me. I know that life is much fuller, much richer, when I sense your grace at my back, like wind in my sails. But I will admit that on the days when I feel lost at sea, I sometimes forget that no matter where my boat sails, I am always on your ocean. So let me ask that you find use for me each day that I have life, in your way, not mine. My part will be not to judge how you have put me to use. I will assume that even just sitting next to a stranger on a park bench or standing in a line that's far too long is of use in some way. I need only see it through the eyes of my soul. I have already had so many experiences of viewing my life through my soul that it stuns me when I still falter, when I still slip into ordinary sight. But I do again and again. Yet again and again I have experienced that seeing through the eyes of my soul makes everything look different instantly, as if a black and white photo shifted to color in the palm of my hand. People look kinder, softer, and more vulnerable. I find I am less inclined to judge anyone and anything, and I smile more easily. The truth is, when I view the world through divine eyes, I become saturated in wonder. I see it as your creation, all blending together. Nothing and no one appear out of place or without meaning and purpose. It doesn't matter that I have no idea where all the pieces of life belong. I am one of those pieces, just blending in. Okay, that was the prayer. Here's the guidance. The difference between how the soul perceives your world and how your eyes see your world is like night and day. Your soul is tasked with rigorously peeling away illusions and guiding you to discover your inner senses, the part of you that intuits truth in a way your physical senses cannot. We base our values and our self-worth on what we believe to be true and real in our world. We often say, seeing is believing. That is unfortunate because faith is all about believing what you cannot see. And so much of your value, so much of what you do to make a difference in this world can only be evaluated by the divine. Accumulated acts of grace, such as kindness and patience, generosity and noble strength, give life and hope. You may never see the long-term or even short-term effects of the thousands of acts of grace you generate each day, but lives are changed because of that grace. View life through your soul, and you'll understand that there is no such thing as a small or powerless choice. If you truly open the eyes of your soul, you'll see that the divine gives you at least one opportunity a day to make another person's life just a little better. And should you be that someone in need of assistance, look through your soul. You'll discover heaven hidden in the small details of your life. That was the guidance. Now for the grace. When do we not need the grace of clarity? This powerful grace creates the sensation of a fog lifting from within, either suddenly or gradually, slowly or instantly. You become clear-sighted about the thing that previously weighed so heavily on your soul. Grace, remember, always calls you to action. From clarity comes choice. Grace never lets you sit still for too long. It's a change agent. Why else would you need it? She has a prayer that ends it, and I'd like to read that too. And then I'll get into everything I'm thinking and feeling at the moment. Grant me the grace of clarity, Lord. Allow me to see the world as my soul sees it. Clear-sightedness comes naturally to the soul. Our holy interior perceives truth without distraction or detachment. Our soul has the ability to see our life path. It turns our attention away from getting our own needs met and toward asking how we can make others' lives better. Lord, again and again I am reminded of how very brief this life is, and that it is not about accumulating stuff. Life is about how well we tend to all that lives. That is all that matters. And no act of serving life is too small. I find it interesting that I have felt my self-worth dwindling, and then I get an intuitive thought or message that has been haunting me all day. Okay, to be honest, it has been haunting me for a while that I needed to do this activity, to start using this book and randomly choosing one of the 100 prayers. I used to do that in my spiritual practice, and I let it go for many reasons I'm not going to get into right now. That song Grace by Rachel Platten is one of my current power songs. I feel it every time I hear it. So I know that it's something that the message in it is something I need to listen to. And I connect these books with Grace because she includes the grace. And I am really feeling like I need grace. My self-worth has tanked. Like I said, I will have some good days. And when I'm good, I'm flying. I feel great. I think I finally have made it through the ick, and then I'm back in the ick, and the ick is sticking around longer than the not ick. And I'm okay being an ick for a certain period of time. But I'm an action taker, and I keep getting the message that I need to rest. And so I find it very interesting. And I'm tired of resting. I need to do. And so today I did. And I'm finding it very interesting because in this, it said that it's a call to action, that grace is a call to action. But here's the thing. I helped somebody today. I was of use to somebody today in multiple ways. And I'm really good at the giving part of that. I'm not so good at the receiving part of it. I keep saying I want to give myself grace. I want to give myself grace. Well, I think I keep giving it to myself, but I'm not receiving it. It's like I'm giving it to myself and then I'm smacking it away. And in this, it says, what really hit me is that it says, that's why I can't. And should you be that someone in need of assistance, look through your soul. You'll discover heaven hidden in the small details of your life. I'm not getting into everything that's going on in my life. But I do know that there are good parts of my life, and they are tucked away, but I get to experience them on a regular basis. But just the fact that I followed my intuition, that brings me joy every time I do it, because when I do it, I'm proven that, yeah, why'd you drag that out for so long? It brought me relief, it's brought me comfort, and it's reminded me to follow my intuition. That is the message I keep doing. And if my intuition for that day tells me I need to rest because I'm coming out of a burnout, and so rest is important, if that is what I need to do, then that's what I need to do. But on the days where I am being told to take action on something, then that is what I need to do. And the grace is allowing myself to do that, to find the balancing act, and to trust that I'm being guided in the right way. So when I get those inspired thoughts that I need to randomly pick a prayer and record it and share it, I don't know. Maybe there's somebody out there also struggling that this is going to help. Or maybe it was just me doing it, and the recording it became my accountability. Now I get to choose whether or not I'm going to share it with anyone. But thanks for coming along with me. I appreciate it. If you did. But I highly recommend this book by Caroline Myss. Yeah, it's brought me a lot of comfort, and I'm so grateful that my friend gave it to me. I have to share this. He wrote in it, because I was told to. So somebody else followed their intuition so that on days like today where I'm really struggling, I can find some comfort. So anyway, thank you for being a part of my journey.